Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap. I hope all of you guys had a wonderful day. My day was all right. We don't have a lot of news to cover today. Per usual, weekends are normally slow, but let's get started. Mostly just only actually a Trump administration segment. Three topics to cover. The Trump administration has deported three U.S. citizens who were children and held incommunicado. The FBI has posted a picture of Judge Dugan's arrest, and Trump has removed protections from journalists. Trump has deported three U.S. citizen children held incommunicado. Earlier this morning, the New Orleans ICE office deported two families, including two mothers and their minor children who are U.S. citizens aged 2, 4, and 7. One mother is also currently pregnant. ICE detained the first family on April 22nd and the second on April 24th. In both cases, ICE held the families incommunicado, refusing or failing to respond to attorneys or family members who contacted them. In one instance, the mother was given a 1-minute phone call that was ended abruptly when her husband tried to give her legal counsel's phone number. As a result, these families were completely isolated during critical moments, and decisions were made about the welfare of their children. This included their decisions based on health, safety, and legal rights of the children without the coordination of the caretakers or legal representatives. This is so messed up in so many ways. One, this does break ICE's mandate in their own written directives, where they have to coordinate with parental guardians or children's guardians when it comes to situations where they're deporting children. And this is something they did not do in this situation, so they, for one, have broken their own rules. Two, these children who are U.S. citizens have been denied their rights to lawyers, which is something they have a right to. As U.S. citizens, you have the right to a free and fair trial and, a lawyer to represent you if you cannot afford one. And these children have not been provided the opportunity to get a lawyer and have had to represent themselves in court, which is a problem because one, they're U.S. citizens, and two, they're children. And I feel like I should never have to justify that point, but we're at a stage in this country where that is a point that you have to justify, that children shouldn't have to represent themselves in court. And that is insane. That as an individual, I have to justify that a child should not have to represent themselves in court. I mean, Trump has been president for 4 months now, almost 5. Getting there. Not almost, but getting there. And the amount of steps we have taken back in this amount of time is truly depressing, and it's sad. It feels like that we've walked back. How far? Maybe 50 years, maybe 60, 70 years in our nation's history in the past 4 months. Trump's not even that old. Maybe a little bit less than that. But 50 is probably a good time range. And that's crazy. It's truly crazy. And unfortunate. I lost my point with that, so we're just gonna move on. The FBI has posted a picture of Judge Dugan's arrest. FBI Director Kash Patel has posted a photo of the Wisconsin judge, while she was being handcuffed and put into a vehicle, who was arrested on Friday for allegedly obstructing immigration agents. The picture does not show Judge Hannah Dugan's face, but it does show her being escorted by 3 law enforcement agents in a park walk. Patel's caption on the post read, "No one is above the law." No one is above the law except for Donald Trump and his administration. They are so hypocritical. I mean, pick a side and say to it, whether it's the tariffs, whether it's really any situation at this point. It's this or that. It's this or that. It's another contradiction. It's another, we're not doing this anymore. And it's just, oh my God, pick a side and stay to it. Because it's unprofessional and it's Damn. What a way to be interrupted. Holy. My apologies, everyone. It's unprofessional and it's embarrassing on the world stage. We have some of the worst Americans, essentially. They're not even really Americans at this point, in office, and they are falsely representing a majority of the American people I know. It's about like a 40% rate supports Trump still, but you know, that's still not the majority. And that's not the person who should be the president of the United States. The person who should be the president of the United States is someone who represents the best interests of the American people, someone who represents the kindness and the dignity and the smartness of the American people. We don't need a president who, for one, probably can't read, and for two, is a jackass. To be the president of the United States, because that one, he is clearly not acting in the best interests of the American people, but two, he doesn't represent who the American people are himself. He is a rich man who is a terrible person and represents the billionaire class in, honestly, not even a great way. I don't know why you would pick Donald Trump to represent you, but sure, I mean, I guess it shows how scum of the earth, the rich truly are. Um, and I mean, I feel like, as someone who wants to be a politician, as somebody who, takes aspiration in the idea of being, the president of the United States and thinks it would be such a cool and amazing opportunity to do so, um, I truly find it disappointing. Truly. You know, it makes me think a lot about what I would do when I'm in office and, you know, how I would go about doing things and how I would react to things. And, just the way Trump's doing it is sad to me. Especially as a history enjoyer as well, it truly speaks, maybe even the end of a great country, in my opinion. And I'm someone who doesn't stand for the national anthem, and I still think this is a great country. So, or not the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance. My bad. I do respect our veterans enough for that. But I think just there are some things in this country that are, one, unnecessary, and two, just aren't something that display or isn't something that displays who we are and what we should be as a nation. And I think Trump is one of the perfect examples of those things, and especially his entire administration. They continue to make a fool of us, and it is truly disappointing. Yeah. Moving on to the final segment for today. Trump has removed protections from journalists. The Department of Justice is set to resume issuing subpoenas for two journalists as part of a crackdown on intelligence leaks. Pam Bondi announced new regulations today in a DOJ memo. Bondi wrote, "The Justice Department will not tolerate the unauthorized disclosures that undermine President Trump's policies, victimize government agencies, and cause them to harm the American people. Subpoenas require reporters to tell the government the source of their information. This undermines the media, and the Trump administration will likely use this to root out people who provide the media with information or confirmation anonymously, which will likely have impacts on all forms of media, whether it be left or right. Not to mention the fact that it makes it easier for MAGA to claim that something is fake news when an outlet doesn't say it was confirmed by a source. I do wonder what happens if media outlets will just say no and not comply. If the Trump administration isn't complying, why should the media outlets comply? But we'll see how it goes. Definitely an interesting situation, and definitely a dangerous situation, and also definitely an attack on freedom of speech and free media as a whole. With that being said, thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope all of you guys had a wonderful day. I hope all of you guys enjoyed this video. If you're on YouTube, consider dropping a subscribe, liking this video, and dropping a comment down below. If you're on Substack, consider pledging your support. All support helps, pay for the things that I need to pay for to support myself in college. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching this video. I will see you all tomorrow in another episode. Later.